Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I am Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Tens of thousands of priests, religious and lay believers descended on St. Peter's Square on Thursday to take part in the funeral Mass of Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI. Pallbearers brought the sealed cypress coffin containing the body of the late former pontiff and placed it in front of the outdoor altar. A book of the Gospels was placed on it by Master of Pontifical Ceremonies Monsignor Diego Ravelli and Archbishop Georg Genswein, the personal secretary of Benedict XVI. The Mass was led by Cardinal Giovanni Battista Re, the Dean of the College of Cardinals, and was presided over by Pope Francis. Dressed in red chasubles and white mitres, hundreds of cardinals and other prelates concelebrated the Mass. Also present were delegates from the Orthodox churches, the envoy of the Anglican Archbishop of Canterbury, and representatives of other Protestant churches and other faiths, including Judaism and Islam. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and President Sergio Mattarella and the royalty of Belgium and Spain were present, along with envoys and ministers from more than 100 countries. After the Mass, the casket was taken by pallbearers to the crypt of the Basilica of St. Peter's for a private ceremony, before being interred in the first grave of Pope St. John Paul II. Recalling the final words of Jesus, "Father, into your hands I entrust my spirit," taken from the Gospel read during the Requiem Mass, Pope Francis said they summed up the entire life of Christ.
Sono le ultime parole che il Signore pronunciò sulla croce. Il suo ultimo sospiro, potremmo dire, capaci di confermare ciò che caratterizzò tutta la sua vita.
He reflected on a ceaseless self-entrustment into the hands of his Father. He said the people of God gathered in St. Peter's now accompanies and entrusts to God the life of the one who was their pastor. In commending the soul of Benedict XVI, Pope Francis said, "We want to do this with the same wisdom, tenderness and devotion that he bestowed upon us over the years. Together we want to say, Father, into your hands we commend his spirit." The late Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI will be remembered at a Mass in the Basilica of Guadalupe in Mexico City, and the bishops of Mexico have asked the faithful to attend. The invitation was sent on Twitter and reads, "We invite you to participate in the Holy Mass for the soul of Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI on January the 10th at 11 a.m. at the distinguished and national Basilica of Santa Maria de Guadalupe. It is in this basilica that the sacred image of the much venerated Our Lady of Guadalupe is enshrined." Statistics show that abortion was the top cause of mortality globally in 2022 for the fourth consecutive year. Last year, there were roughly 4 times as many abortions as infectious disease fatalities. According to the Worldometer's most recent review of 2022, abortions totaled more than 44 million in that year. The number of abortions globally is regularly compiled by Worldometer, a database that tracks statistics about health, the world's population, and other metrics in real time. According to the World Health Organization, however, around 73 million induced abortions are reportedly performed annually worldwide. Almost 13 million people died from communicable diseases in 2022, making it the second most common cause of death. The local ordinary of the Burkinabe diocese in Burkina Faso in Africa has confirmed the killing of Father Jacques Yaro Zerbo, a Malian-born Catholic priest working in the Degoudou diocese. Bishop Prosper Bonaventure Kai verified the death of Father Zerbo in a statement released on January the 3rd. He added that the late Catholic priest was killed on January the 2nd by unidentified armed individuals in Soro, in the northwest of Burkina Faso. The killers of the priest also stole his car. According to a local security officer, Terrorist assaults are fairly common in the region where Father Zerbo was killed. Former US House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, a Republican from California, and 20 fellow Republican rivals continued their battle on Wednesday after the House failed to elect a Speaker for the 6th time, following McCarthy's unsuccessful efforts to obtain the majority of votes required to win the Speaker's gavel. The chamber first adjourned till Wednesday. A majority of members decided to gather at midday on Thursday. On Wednesday, the 4th, 5th and 6th failed ballots came hours after former President Donald Trump ended his silence over the speakership discussion and once again reaffirmed his support for Mr. McCarthy. US President Joe Biden has said that it is his intention to go to the border with Mexico where a record number of people are crossing. Biden stated as much on Wednesday at the Cincinnati International Airport. If so, it would be his first trip to the border while president. The Title 42 policy, which was implemented during the COVID pandemic and permits immigration officials to deport immigrants without delay on the grounds of public health, has been supported by the Biden administration. The Supreme Court temporarily stopped the termination of Title 42 after US District Judge Emmett Sullivan decided in favour of immigration advocates and set December the 21st as the end date for the regulation. The judiciary of Iran upheld the execution of 2 male teenagers who had participated in the anti-government demonstrations that have engulfed the nation since September. If the executions go ahead, they will be the youngest people to be put to death since uproar broke out over the death of Mahsa Amini, a 22-year-old woman who died in police custody in Tehran after being held for allegedly violating the Islamic dress code. According to the judiciary's official website, Mizan Online, Mehdi Mohammadi Fard, who is 18, has been found guilty of warring against God and corruption on earth. It is said he had confessed to making a Molotov cocktail using a water bottle and petrol. Mizan also announced that 19-year-old Mohammed Borugani has also had his death sentence confirmed. In Somalia, violence continues to be at the heart of day-to-day life. Since it sprang up 15 years ago, the terrorist organisation Al-Shabaab has waged a brutal war against the central government. The rebel organisation has claimed responsibility for 2 attacks on January the 4th, which claimed 15 lives. The attacks took place in the Hiran region's Mahas district. In a statement, the press office of Al-Shabaab stated that they were intended for apostate militias and soldiers. The deaths of the 15 individuals was announced by the government and by local media. Terrorists using vehicles loaded with explosives attacked private homes where government officials leading operations against Al-Shabaab were believed to be present, but were not present at the time of the explosions. In addition, the extremist organisation is suspected of carrying out 2 kidnappings this week in the Hiran area. Following a 3-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 outbreak, authorities in the Philippines have approved the continuation of this year's Black Nazarene feast in Manila, which draws millions of followers. However, the massive procession from Luneta Park to a church in Quiapo's Central District has once again been postponed due to virus worries, and further restrictions have also been put in place. The police and health authorities gave the Quiapo Church in the Philippine capital the go-ahead to host the feast from January the 3rd to the 7th. The Catholic Bishops' Conference of the Philippines has urged followers to follow health protocols as a show of faith to the image. The Archdiocese of Manila has cancelled the traditional pahalik, or kissing the feet of the Black Nazarene, to avoid the spread of the virus. Manila Mayor Honey Lacuna announced a liquor ban during the celebrations. More than 5,000 police officers will be deployed for the religious event across Manila. Archbishop Joseph Arshad of the Diocese of Rawalpindi, Islamabad in Pakistan announced that the year 2023 will be a year of the family. The Archbishop, in a letter sent to the faithful, invites the entire diocesan community to be a welcoming family and to follow the example of the Holy Family of Nazareth. A verse from the Gospel of Matthew will be used as a starting point in the field of meditation and biblical deepening. The verse is, "So that no longer they are 2 but 1 flesh, so let man not divide what God has put together," taken from the 19th chapter of Matthew's Gospel. The gift of a Christian family is then highlighted by celebrating milestones like a couple's 25th or 50th wedding anniversary, with liturgies and moments of communal celebration, because the sacrament of marriage includes in itself the grace and ability to sublimate human love. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow for more, and do remember, you can also visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.